Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. The Medicaid Expansion bill revived and endorsed today at the state capitol.
By a single vote, the bill to continue Medicaid expansion in Montana passed a crucial deadline, setting up a final vote for its Senate passage tomorrow.
A dramatic turn of events today in the Montana Senate as the $700 million program hangs in the balance.
The bill to continue the program that provides medical coverage for 96,000 low-income adults in Montana has been stalled in the Senate since last Thursday and faced a crucial deadline today. Without a positive vote today, House Bill 658 would have needed a supermajority to pass because of legislative transmittal rules and might have been dead. But earlier in the day, Democratic Senate Minority Leader John Sesso of Butte asked fellow senators to put the bill back on the floor, and his motion passed by a 26-24 margin.
Some 4 hours later, the full Senate endorsed the bill by the same margin, setting up a final vote for its Senate passage Tuesday. Medicaid expansion is set to expire in June unless the legislature reauthorizes it.
The bill also needs one more vote in the House before heading to Governor Steve Bullock's desk for his signature.
The Montana House has endorsed reform to Montana's medical marijuana system. House members voted 68-32 in favor of Senate Bill 265 today. Now, the biggest change in the bill is untethering patients from providers, meaning patients would no longer have to choose a single provider to purchase their marijuana. The bill originally raised a tax on medical marijuana providers from 2% to 4%, but the bill has been amended to make that increase temporary. Supporters say the bill will give regulators the tools to better manage marijuana across the state. The bill must pass a final vote in the House tomorrow to move forward.
A controversial bill that supporters say could extend the life of Colstrip 4 power plant passed a preliminary vote in the state House today. Lawmakers endorsing Senate Bill 331 by a 62-38 vote. The bill originally guaranteed Northwestern Energy could charge customers up to $75 million over 10 years for new expenditures at the Colstrip plant. Supporters say it's been amended now to address some of the main concerns about it, including giving the Montana Public Service Commission a greater say in approving those costs. Opponents said they expected the changes would be reversed as the bill moves forward.
In committee, we ensured that there was Public Service Commission oversight of costs and purchases, and that was the #1 concern I've heard about for a month or two, so we took care of that.
This is going to be stripped out of this bill, as well as every other good thing that got amended into this bill is going to get stripped out. And so I like to call this the 72 Vega bill, because this is a dangerous vehicle.
SB 331 must pass a final vote in the House tomorrow. The Senate will then decide whether to accept the House's amendments.
Tonight, a Billings woman is in custody after an early morning stabbing in the Heights.
Billings police arrested Jamie Messerly on an assault with weapons charge. Officers responded to a home in the 1500 block of Governors Boulevard around 3:15 this morning.
And that's where they found a 29-year-old victim who was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
A man and a woman could each go to prison after Gallatin County Sheriff's deputies say they were caught having sex in a local hot springs children's pool with kids nearby.
33-year-old Don Klein appeared in court this morning, while 37-year-old Aaron Miller will be in court tomorrow, each charged with indecent exposure. It allegedly happened on Friday. The hot springs manager and 4 witnesses saw Klein and Miller having sexual intercourse about 10 feet from children in the pool before someone called the sheriff's office.
Deputies say surveillance footage also caught them in the act. The couple was later pulled over and arrested. Klein's bail was set at $5,000 and she's not allowed to go back to the hot springs. Missing Polson teen has been found safe.
Well, the girl's mother confirmed her safety but did not elaborate. 15-year-old Whisper Little Owl Horseman went missing last Wednesday.
The horseman's mother posted on Facebook this afternoon that Whisper was found safe.
Well, women on the Blackfeet Reservation now learning self-defense. Instructor Suda Calling Lass says self-defense is the first measure of protection when it comes to not only protecting yourself but also your friends and family. Now, Calling Last is the founder of an organization known as Missing Murdered Indigenous Warriors. She's published an article in the Native News Online as Call for Action to get women to take up courses in self-defense. Now, Calling Last grew up in Hart Butte and recalls being attacked both verbally and physically. She says seeing so many women show up to the classes makes her emotional.
We have this missing murdered Indigenous women epidemic, but what we need is violence prevention. And whether that's violence from the non-Native community, border communities, or within our own communities, we need the tools and training to either verbally stop confrontation or to be able to physically protect ourselves if it goes beyond that.
And she says she hopes to organize other self-defense classes across the state.
Butte residents standing firm against the EPA's position on exactly who's responsible for replacing the former Blacktail Creek. The EPA says it's now just a stormwater runoff channel, but the Atlantic Richfield Company is proposing an artificial creek to flow through Butte. Tonight, MTN's John Amy looks into how the company's looking to circumvent the EPA with its proposal.
A letter sent to the Restore Our Creek Coalition suggests that the Atlantic Richfield Company is willing to build a man-made creek running through Butte.
This is important to our future, and we're going to stay with it, and so hopefully will they.
The letter has not been made public, but the coalition says that Atlantic Richfield talks about building a creek and possibly funding part of it. Restore Our Creek is a grassroots group that wants to have flowing water in the portion of Silverbow Creek that runs through Butte as part of the Superfund cleanup.
In terms of how our economy prospers, how Butte sustains itself, we want something that we can be proud of here.
The Restore Our Creek Coalition isn't releasing any details on the Atlantic Richfield letter until they can examine it further. But coalition members believe this is a positive development in getting water back into Silverbow Creek.
They're working with us, and I feel very fortunate to have the right people in this endeavor, the right people at the right time working on this stuff. And I mean, I think everyone wants a good outcome.
The outcome still has more work to go. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
The Restore Our Creek Coalition plans to respond to Atlantic Richfield's letter later this week.
A group of Montana women hit the pavement this morning for the 123rd Boston Marathon.
Among the more than 40 Montanans who qualified and took part this year, 8 Billings women who traveled to the race together, joining more than 30,000 other participants. The Boston Marathon, of course, one of the most prestigious races in the country, drawing in runners and spectators from all around the world.
One of those women, Kristen Vollmer, says despite the less than perfect weather, the group was honored to take part in the race and says the ladies want to thank the community of Boston and the supporters both on the race route and back home.
Coming up on today's 5:30 News, the historic Notre Dame Cathedral up in flames today. We'll have reaction from the streets of Paris.
And later in sports, here's what you didn't see after yesterday's PBR championship. Scott shows us what happened with this bull on the loose.
More spring weather, up and down temperatures, all of that, but we might see a near 80-degree reading on Friday. We'll give you the complete Q2 Storm Tracker weather forecast in just a bit.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.